Happy Earth Day! Happy Earth Day! Happy Earth Day! And happy Earth Day 2021 to everyone that is joining the Circle Sanctuary community Earth Day celebration this year. As with last year, we're online, and we are so happy for everyone joining us live and later. Circle Sanctuary has been celebrating Earth Day since our earliest days. Circle Sanctuary was established in 1974, and we moved to our headquarters, Circle Sanctuary Nature Preserve, in 1983. And we have been celebrating Earth Day all these years. In fact, my own connection with Earth Day goes back to the very first Earth Day on April 22nd, 1970. So yes, I was one of the many people that responded to Wisconsin U.S. Senator Gaylord Nelson's call to do environmental education on Earth Day, April 22nd, 1970. I helped organize an event at the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia, where I was doing undergraduate studies in psychology with some classics thrown in for the mix. I am so glad that we are able to be together on this Earth Day time, and we have a variety of presentations and experiences happening today as part of our celebration. You heard Maven Stone out of Ohio, who's been part of our community for some time. She is one of our Circle Sanctuary community bards, and she has this wonderful realm of mystical, magical music that she has us connect with as she weaves her ethereal melodies into a beautiful tapestry of tales of old, celebration of new, and the never-ending circle of the wheel of life and nature. And she has many inspirations from Mother Earth, and she performs live regularly in her series Harp and Coffee every Friday on Facebook. And we're having her back today at our annual Earth Day ritual, which will be in the last hour of our Earth Day celebration. I want to give thanks to Circle Sanctuary ministers Bob Paxton and Casey Pope, who are doing the tech for today and making it possible for us to have this not only live streamed to the Circle Sanctuary YouTube channel, but it will be archived there. And Casey will be putting this up at the Circle Sanctuary Facebook page after broadcast. I invite all of you who are watching live and later to learn more about Circle Sanctuary at our website, circlesanctuary.org, and you can find us on Instagram, Circle Sanctuary. You can find us on YouTube as well as on Twitter. And we have a variety of resources for celebrating the seasons, and we also live stream our full moon circles to this Circle Sanctuary YouTube channel. And our next one with Judith and Laura will be happening this coming Monday. If you'd like to get more information about Maven, you can go to her website at mavenstone.com, and on facebook.com, she's Maven Music, MAEVYNSTONE is how you spell her name. And indeed, go to Instagram and type in Maven Stone, and you'll get to her there. And she has a YouTube channel. So there's wonderful ways for you to connect not only with our celebration of Earth Day this year online, but with our presenters. In a short while, my husband, Dr. Dennis Carpenter, who's also a Circle Sanctuary minister, will be doing a brand new presentation on nature awareness and mindfulness. And he'll be followed by another Circle Sanctuary minister, Sharon Stewart, who is a death midwife, and she will be talking about eco friendly end of life options. And you saw the footage of Circle Sanctuary Nature Preserve right after Maven played live, and you heard some more Maven music with that. Thanks to Bob for creating that piece. And Bob will have another piece for us, which will be a tour of Circle Sanctuary sacred sites. All 200 acres of Circle Sanctuary Nature Reserve is zoned as a church, and we have a variety of different um, ecosystem environments. We have wetlands, we have restored prairie, we have wonderful rock outcroppings, and lots of forest. We're more than 3/4 forest. We have a stream that flows through Circle Sanctuary Nature Preserve, which early on we named Stream of Consciousness. And yes, it's officially registered as the name of the water on the Circle Sanctuary. And we have springs and we have meadows. Right now, Circle Sanctuary Nature Preserve still remains closed due to the pandemic. We do hope that sometime in 2021, we'll be able to have some in-person opportunities there. So stay tuned to the Circle Sanctuary website, circlesanctuary.org, and also look at our other social media to get updates about when and how we may be opening. So I'd like to share with you a bit about Earth Day, what I call Earth Day transformations. Earth Day is a festival, a time of action, a time of celebration, and a time of education. At the first Earth Day, it took the form of an environmental education event. Actually, back then, we called it teach-ins. And on campuses across the US and in a number of communities, large and small, people organized Earth Day events to help bring greater awareness to the general public about the state of the environment, what's not working, and what we can do to make it better. And so Earth Day has this eco education part that goes way back to its earliest days in 1970. And indeed, that is a really powerful way of doing Earth Day observances. And for that reason, and in that spirit, we bring to you our presentations today regarding mindfulness with nature, as well as end of life, environmentally friendly options. This is also a time to do environmental action. And when we have had Circle Sanctuary Earth Day events in person pre-pandemic, eco action as well as eco education have been part of our celebrations, and they are part of Earth Day observances around the world. Some of the eco actions that we have done at Circle Sanctuary Earth Day celebrations have included planting trees. And we have a tamarack grove at Bridget Spring that was planted at an Earth Day. We've done prairie restoration work, and that has taken the form of prairie burns, restorative controlled prairie burns. And Bob, Reed, Florence, and some others have their training in doing prescribed burns. And by actually burning off the old prairie grass and other plants, it helps regenerate the prairie. So literally, we're having an eco transformation through this kind of eco action. We also have had people remove invasive species of plants at the nature preserve. We have done some testing of water and other forms of research in connection with our Earth Day celebrations. And one of the wonderful things that we came to learn about when we did some testing of our stream of consciousness is that we have very pure water flowing through Circle Sanctuary Nature Preserve. So, Earth Day, transformations by information and education, a great opportunity to learn yourself, but to also share information, to do education with others. Earth Day is about eco-activism, actually getting involved in environmental preservation activities is a wonderful way to observe Earth Day. And the third aspect of Earth Day celebration and transformation is that of spiritual alignment and communion. I see that it's very important as part of environmental education and activism to also find a way, regardless of our particular spiritual, religious, and or philosophical worldview, to strengthen our connection with nature as a whole and planet Earth in particular, and the particular area where we dwell and where we are most connected with the natural world. And you can have that connection regardless of if you're out in a rural area. I'm coming to you live via Zoom, via YouTube from my home office and studio at my home where Dr. Dennis and I live, right next to Circle Sanctuary Nature Preserve. So certainly in a rural area or small town, but in suburban areas and urban areas, we can strengthen our connections with nature regardless of where we make our home and where we are. Eco-spirituality, eco-meditation, eco-rituals have been an important part of my own personal Earth Day celebrations and transformations, and they are certainly at the heart of the Circle Sanctuary community's celebration of Earth Day. So, in the last hour, we will have our Earth Day ceremony, and joining us, internet connectivity permitting, because we have some Circle Sanctuary ministers and community members literally from across the USA. We will have two of our eco chaplains, Shar and Andrew from California, sharing. We will have another one of our podcasters, Reverend Laura from Chicago, who will be part of our celebration, Dennis and I, and hopefully the internet will work. And Chip, who has been part of our administration and with Circle Sanctuary for many years, and also one of our Circle Cemetery founders, will hopefully be able to join us from New Mexico. So in the next few moments, I invite you to prepare for an Earth Day 2021 celebration with transformation. We call to the sacred earth as planet our home, we call to the spirit a place where each of us is taking part in this Earth Day celebration. We call to the divine as one and as many, as Mother, Father, Spirit, as the interconnecting source and force in all of nature here on planet Earth and beyond. Come and be with us. Bless this Earth Day celebration. And we call to the spirit of Earth Day, to Earth Days past, to all taking part in Earth Day present during this culmination of Earth Week. And we call to the spirit of Earth Day that's yet to come in coming years. Imagine yourself joining now with a great circle of those who care about Earth Day and our planet. We are all connected here in cyberspace. And as we journey into our celebration today, we'll also connect in inner space. Thank you for tuning in. Feel free to share the link to our YouTube to others that might be interested in joining us. And now we move into the next part of our program. We have a chance to experience a journey into nature therapy, eco-psychology, nature awareness, and mindfulness with my husband, Circle Sanctuary Minister, and now Professor of Psychology Emeritus from the University of Wisconsin System, Dr. Dennis Carpenter.
I need to scroll that document. How do I do that?
You have to put it in here.
How do I do that?
Just go like this.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Earth Day celebration today. It's so great to be with you all here. Today's presentation is evolution of some ideas that have come to me through my own research into the therapeutic aspects of nature experiences, as well as my interest in the topic of climate change. It's also evolved out of my own practice in yoga and mindfulness. And I'm excited to be here today and to share some of these ideas with you. First, I'm going to give some background information to the topic of nature mindfulness, and then I'll lead you through a guided nature mindfulness journey. Again, there will be a variety of aspects of that meditation, and hopefully you'll get some ideas for how you might be more mindful in your daily life, as well as during those times that you're able to be in nature. Now, obviously, humans are part of nature, but what I'm talking about here today is connecting with the more than human natural world. So when I'm referring to nature in that way, or as nature or natural world, I'm referring here today to those non-human aspects of our natural world as they might be. Many of you are likely nature spirituality practitioners of some sort. So, at the heart of that, as Selena's already alluded to, is this deepening of our connections with nature. So, nature spirituality practitioners connect with nature in a variety of ways. Many attune to the cycles of the sun and moon and follow a spiritual calendar based upon the phases of the moon and the sun influenced seasons of the year. Various aspects of the more than human natural world form the basis for spiritual experience and relationship, including plants, animals, minerals, and the earth herself. Most connect in some ways with the elements of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, and their directional correspondences of north, east, south, west, and center, however you line those up to be. Many nature spirituality practitioners experience peak or spiritual experiences in natural settings and report a sense of oneness or interconnectedness with the rest of the natural world, creating for them strong feelings such as wonder, awe, and fascination. At the heart of these various practices and experiences is a sense of connectedness with the rest of the natural world. Interestingly, connectedness with nature is actually a psychological construct that has been researched quite a bit in recent decades. Several scales have even been developed to measure nature connectedness, and this construct has been shown to be related to personal health and well-being, as well as with certain other variables such as pro-environmental attitudes and behaviors. Recently, I've encountered articles that describe the importance of cultivating our relationship with the more than natural, human natural world as a key way to motivate people to address ecological problems. At this time of Earth Day, it is important to discuss ways to increase this sense of nature connectedness and encourage attitudes and actions to address our climate emergency. We will talk about one important way of doing this in this presentation, and that is nature mindfulness. Excuse my technology issues here, but I have lost something here. So give me a pause here while I try to get that back. Hello, everybody. Well, there's something to be said about technology, and that is that it is a wonderful tool for bringing us together with the qualification of when it all works the way we anticipate it to work. So thank you all for bearing with me as we dealt with a technical issue on my end here. So we're talking about nature mindfulness, and I want to further develop a couple ideas that are really central to this. You know, certain aspects of our modern world often dominate our day-to-day experience, even for those who might otherwise be more attuned to nature in spiritual practice and in experience. Increasingly, we are spending more time in built environments that separate us from the rest of the natural world. In addition, our lives are becoming increasingly dominated by use of electronic devices and the multitasking attentional demands associated with their use. This has become even more acute within the last year or so as we've resorted to Zoom and other technologies to connect with each other. This separation from nature and our increased time on our devices can increase negative emotions such as stress, and it can also reduce our efficiency in focusing our attention and processing mental information. There's something called Zoom fatigue. And at the heart of Zoom fatigue is the fact that our attentional capabilities are really being taxed in that particular kind of environment. So when we're intensely focused in that kind of way for a sustained period of time, it definitely has an impact. And these kinds of problems can be positively dealt with by spending more time in nature. Research clearly suggests that increasing the amount of time in nature and cultivating connectedness to it is associated with a wide range of positive outcomes and can improve psychological adjustment. While increasing our time outside can be very helpful, we next have to ask ourselves, what are we doing when we are outside? So let's consider the example of being in the woods and spending much of our time on our device. Are we getting a break from our devices and maximizing the benefits of being in nature by doing this? Very likely not. Let's consider taking a walk through a natural setting. And as you do this, you're thinking about what's coming up next in your day after the walk is finished, or rehashing a difficulty you're having at work or in a personal relationship, or dwelling on some past problem or anticipated future problem in repetitive ways. Are we maximizing the benefits possible from our time in nature? Probably not. The practice of nature mindfulness can provide us with more time in a natural setting and all the potential benefits that might give us. In addition, it helps keep our attentional focus on the experience of nature and helps quiet the mental chatter in our mind. In other words, nature mindfulness helps us to optimize the impacts that our time in nature can have upon us. Nature mindfulness is derived from more general mindfulness practices of Buddhist and Hindu origins that have become increasingly popular in our secularized Western context. We all have the capacity for being more mindful while in nature and throughout our daily lives. The more we practice this, the better we get at quieting our mind and living in the present moment. In fact, the beauty and attraction of natural places often facilitates mindful focusing. So some individuals have a difficult time sitting still for long periods of time and doing mindfulness meditation, and have reported finding that doing mindfulness focusing in nature works much better for them. For those of you who are more familiar with meditative practices, the approach I'm describing today involves more open monitoring of sensation and experience. By this, I mean that we're grounded in our breath and bodies and taking in the experience of nature through our sense modalities, working to keep our focus on breath, body, and the experience with nature that we're having. At the heart of mindfulness is the concept of being in the present moment without judgment or analysis. The early psychologist William James described the stream of consciousness, accurately describing how the focus of our conscious attention and experience continually changes, just like the flowing stream. Mindfulness recognizes this stream and helps develop skills in bringing our attention back to the present moment. Consider yourself to be the observer or experiencer who resides within your body. Your immediate conscious experience of the world around you is at the heart of your being. All that has happened to you in the past is represented in your memory. All that you think about that might happen in the future presently exists in the realm of your imagination. Hence, what is most real is your conscious experience of the world as it unfolds moment to moment, right here, right now. This fuller lived experience holds great potential for healing and deeper connection with the spiritual dimensions of our being. Next, I will guide a nature mindfulness meditation. If possible, I recommend that you connect with the more than human natural world in some way as we're doing this today, such as being with houseplants, or maybe focusing on pets, looking outside a window, sitting outside on a porch, or maybe being outside in a natural setting if your internet access allows for that. If you're not able to do any of these things, this meditation should still be helpful for learning what you can do when in a natural setting. Use what I demonstrate today when you're able to be more fully immersed in the more natural world. Give me just a second here and we'll get keyed up for this. All right, get relaxed and in the ways that you can while I figure out this device thing that's going on with me again here. So the scrolling part, I've lost that scrolling part. How do I do that?
You just move your finger like
Oh,
that.
okay. Okay, Bob, I'm ready to go live again. All right, hello everybody again. Again, my apologies for the disruption here in this. So today we'll be focusing again on connecting with the more than human natural world in a mindful manner without judgment or analysis. Don't try to evaluate how well you're doing at it. Don't try to analyze what's going on. just be in the experience. And the purpose of this activity is to help you connect more deeply with nature and with your own moment to moment experience. Position yourself sitting, lying down, or even standing. If sitting, be sure to sit up straight with your spine in alignment. Begin by closing your eyes or lowering your gaze. Focus for a few moments on your breathing, in and out, as it is occurring for you right now. If your mind wanders from the focus on breath, bring your attention back as soon as you can. Now let's breathe together in a slower and deeper manner. Breathe deeply in, hold for a moment, and then breathe out slowly. Let's do that 5 times together. Breathe in, breathe out. 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 Feel yourself becoming part of this community of people who are viewing right now. This extended community in cyberspace. And allow yourself permission to slow down, to shift from autopilot mode to rational thinking and analysis, to being more in the present moment. Focus your attention on your presence in your body right now as it is positioned. If your mind wanders from the focus on your body, bring your attention back as soon as you can. Settle down a bit and get more comfortable where you're sitting, lying, or standing. Focus on the areas where your body touches the places supporting you. Feel your feet against the floor or ground, however they are positioned. Feel the pressure on your legs, buttocks, and back as they are supported. Relax into these points of contact and get even more support. Feel the weight of your body settle into these places. Experience the energy of your body grounding into the earth. Like a tree, your roots extend into the earth and are supported by the earth. Focus your attention on your whole body now, supported by the earth. I invite you to connect with the natural world around you in the way that you're able to right here, right now. Open your eyes and softly focus on your surroundings. Look softly and explore nature or the other surroundings with your gaze, without judgment or analysis. Now let's switch to focusing on the sounds around you. Focus on the sounds you hear nearby in the place that you're located. Now focus and consider those sounds further away. Now let's focus on the smells and tastes that you may be able to experience here. Now focus on the sensations on your skin. Perhaps feeling the pressure of your supports on your skin, or the feeling of your clothes touching your skin. In natural settings, this might include the feeling of the breezes on your skin, or the warmth of the sun. Now focus your attention again inward a bit, focusing on the feelings and energy within your body as you connect with the energy of the world right around you. Now that you have attuned to the natural world around you in the ways that you can with your senses, let's connect with the elements of nature: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. I've chosen this type of meditation here today because many of you probably work with these elements in some way. We will begin by focusing on the element of earth, both within us and in the world around us. Focus again on your body in the position that it's being supported. Feel again the solidity of the chair, the floor, the ground beneath you, and feel the weight of your body settled into this position. Feel grounded and centered by earth. Connect with the energy of earth herself. Connect with the density of rock, the support of the rich, fertile soils, the richness of life on this earth. Focus on these similar qualities within your own body, your bones, your nails, your teeth, the remarkable cells that make up your physical body. Realize that we are made from earth and will return to earth. Now that you've experienced a sense of connection between yourself and the earth, slowly shift your focus to the element of air. Let's return for a moment to focus on breathing with mindfulness. Focus once again on your breath, breathing deeply in and out, however that's working for you right now. Focus on your breath and the exchange of the energy of life with the external world around you. Sense how you breathe in oxygen created by the plants around you, and breathe out carbon dioxide, which in turn is used by these very same plants. See how each breath connects you with the life around you. Focus on possible sensations you may experience when outside related to air, such as the gentle breezes blowing upon your skin. Consider how the changing thoughts and ideas within your mind are like the gentle breezes or even the more powerful winds. Now that you've experienced a deeper awareness of air and your inner connection with all life, slowly shift your focus to the element of fire. Feel the energy and warmth generated within your body. Consider your sensitivity to the warm rays of the shining sun or the temperature around you as a warm-blooded animal. Feel the sun's energy giving life to yourself as well as to the other life forms in the world that you depend upon for your survival. Sense the warming and healing benefits of a candle flame or the dancing flames of a campfire. Appreciate how the element of fire gives you a sense of energy, purpose, willpower, and motivation. Now that you've experienced your connection with fire, slowly shift your attention to the element of water. Tune in to the watery nature of your body, its flowing, fluid qualities. Experience its manifestation in your blood, tears, and other bodily fluids, as well as its vital role in the health of every cell in your body. Focus on water in the natural world around you. A body of water, the rain, or the moisture and humidity in the air. Imagine the sound of water flowing. Realize that the water within you is the same water that's around you. Appreciate the flowing aspects of emotions and how they are similar to water. Now that you've focused on and connected with earth, air, fire, and water, focus on the sacred circle or space created by these elements in their directional associations with north, east, south, and west. Sense the sacred aspects within this circular space. Connect with the element of spirit here, with your interconnectedness with all living beings, the divine source of love and light. sense your interdependence within the web of life on this planet. Let your awareness of this interconnectedness and interdependence inspire your activism on behalf of our natural world. Appreciate the responsibility you have to protect your own life and all aspects of the web of life on this planet. Through your meditative practice, deepen your connection with nature. Find the strength to confront the challenges in your life and in the world, and the capacity to connect with and care more deeply about the natural world. At this time of Earth Day, deepen your understanding of and sensitivity to the ecological problems associated with climate change, human population growth, and species extinction. Strengthen your resolve to act in ways to address the climate emergency we face that are consistent with your own values. Think globally to understand the reach of these problems and act locally in ways you can to make a difference. Move forward, making every day Earth Day. Let's conclude our practice today by focusing once again on your breathing and the way that you're doing this right here and right now. Focus again on your body as it's positioned in the present location and moment. Recognize the power of focusing on breath and body to help center one in full attention to the present moment. Resolve to increase such mindfulness in your daily life as you seek to increase and deepen your connections to the more than human natural world. Ground and center yourself. Bring your attention to moment by moment experience and connect more deeply with the rest of the natural world by focusing on its richness and beauty. Recognize when your mental focus wanders and bring it back to the breath, the body, and nature around you. Discover the range of personal and ecological benefits associated with these approaches. Finally, remember the powerful healing words of psychologist, consciousness researcher, and Bhakti Yoga Ram Dass when he said, "Be here now." Thank you, everyone, for joining with me here today in this practice of nature mindfulness, and happy Earth Day time.
Well, next up, we have Circle Sanctuary Minister, Death Midwife, Circle Sanctuary Events Manager, and wonderful being, Reverend Sharon Stewart. She has been part of our Circle Cemetery committee, and I am so thankful that she is joining us today to talk about eco-friendly end-of-life options. So prepare for some more Earth Day environmental education.
Hello, my name is Reverend Sharon Stewart of Circle Sanctuary. I am also a certified death midwife. You may have not heard of that term, a death midwife. Maybe you've heard death doula and maybe not. But what a death midwife does is just what a birth midwife does at the beginning of the life process. We're doing the same thing, making a plan for a beautiful death at the end of life. So for over a decade, I've been helping families come up with their end of life plans and so that they can make their choices for a beautiful end of life service ceremony for their loved ones. Today, I am here to talk to you about maybe understanding and greening the end of life process. So I am pre-recording this video today. I will be in the chat so that you can ask me questions if you have them as they come up during my presentation. I am going to share my screen with you so we can go through a slideshow presentation that I made. I've entitled it Eco-Friendly End of Life Options. I am presenting this for Circle Sanctuary's Earth Day celebration on April 24th, 2021. How I want to begin is talking about the two most standard burial practices we have today. That is burial in a cemetery and cremation. You know, a lot of times we don't think about the environmental impact on those two things, I don't think, because they are so standard and everybody does them, that we don't stop and think about the hazards that are associated with them. So I want to talk about those first. And I want you to please understand I am not bashing the funeral home industry or the cremation industry whatsoever. You know, we all depend on them, we all use them. I just want you to understand in this conversation today, you know, about the environmental concerns of those two practices. So I want to start out about talking about formaldehyde. As we all know, formaldehyde is used to embalm a body. And the purpose of embalming is to preserve the body. You know, the funeral home director wants that body to look like your loved one and stay preserved and look as beautiful as it can possibly be for the viewing, the wake, the funeral, you know, right until final disposition of burial in the cemetery. So I don't know of any funeral home who will have a public viewing without having an embalming. But the pieces of that are concerning is that, as we know, formaldehyde is a carcinogen, and statistics show that a lot of mortuary workers and morticians have a higher cancer rate that has, you know, been directly caused by their work with formaldehyde. It's an amazing, amazing amount of formaldehyde that we're putting in our ground every single year. If you look at my slide, you see that we're putting over 800,000 gallons of formaldehyde into the earth from cemeteries all across the United States every single year. So to put that in perspective for us, I put a picture of an Olympic-sized swimming pool there up on my slide. An Olympic-sized swimming pool holds 660,000 gallons. So again, we're putting over 800,000 gallons into the ground every year that has the potential to seep into our groundwater. And I think that's, people realize that. I think that people understand that about the standard practice of burial. But what I don't think they think about is the caskets. So that's what I want to talk about next. The caskets, again, look at the outrageous amount of copper and bronze and steel that are put into the ground every single year just from the caskets that we bury. And I don't think people really understand just how hazardous these can be and how wasteful they are. First of all, we use 30 million board feet of chemically treated hardwoods just for caskets. Now again, so that we had a comparison, I looked up the size of a standard house in the United States, which is about 2,000 square feet. Doing the math, we could build 2,380 homes using just the amount of wood that we put into the ground every single year. That's amazing to me. If I think of my neighborhood and think of 2,380 homes, that's bigger than some of the towns I've lived in. That amount of wood is going into the earth every single year. And the thing is that they are treated with different chemicals as they are made. And these chemicals then are on all of that wood that is in our ground. And I was shocked to find out that casket manufacturers were listed in the EPA's top 50 hazardous waste generators. That I never even thought about that until a few years ago when I started getting these statistics together so that I could do these types of presentations. I think that's something that we don't think about, because usually when we're looking for a casket, we're in that grief, or our loved one has just died, and of course we want the best for them. So we go to the funeral homes and we pick out the best looking casket, because of our love. But we need to be thinking about the love for the earth when we're thinking about all these caskets that we're putting into the ground, and the amount of chemicals and boards and the energy that it takes to cut all those boards. And it's bigger than you think. But it's not only the boards, it's the vaults. As you all know, if you in a regular cemetery, you have a cement vault that the casket is lowered down into, and then a cement lid would go over top of this vault. And the sole purpose of that is for grooming the cemetery. Sole purpose, grooming the cemetery. When you bury a body, normally you have a mound of dirt that over time will settle. And they don't want to mow like this or have people walk on that. So that is the purpose of the vault. But look at all of that reinforced concrete and steel, again, that we are putting in to our environment. And while it's nice to have a beautiful cemetery, I love walking in cemeteries. And when I go to the cemeteries, especially on Memorial Day, and they're groomed so nicely and all the flowers all over and everything, they are beautiful. But I do need to stop and think about all the weed killers and fertilizers and pesticides that it took to get it that beautiful. Is that really what I want? And those are some of the things I don't think we stop to think of. And the purpose of that vault really truly is for grooming over only. It actually slows down the decomposition of your body. All right, so the next thing that I want to back up a minute, I'm sorry. I also want to try and remember throughout this presentation to kind of give you an idea on costs, because that truly does come into people's decisions too. So the average cost in the United States of a funeral is about $12,000 right now. But I'm telling you, with the families I worked in, none of them have been at that $12,000. They have been far above that. It depends on so many different things, what you want for your services. So, but the average cost right now is about $12,000. So then the next one to talk about, I said there was two ways. And so I want to talk a little bit about cremation. Cremation is a really popular way for final disposition of the body right now. About 55% of the people in the United States choose that option right now. And the expectations are that by 2030, 71% of the people will want that. But is it any greener of a choice? If you look at my slide here, you'll see the biggest issue is fossil fuel consumption. And my first bullet there, a single cremation uses the same amount of energy as in consumed driving 4,800 miles. 4,800 miles. So it's 3,000 miles from coast to coast. So you could go coast to coast and part of the way back for just the energy consumption of one cremation. That is astounding to me. The other thing is the source of air pollution that it causes. I don't know if any of you have ever driven by a crematorium and watched everything, the smoke and everything. It's a crazy amount of smoke that can come out of the smokestacks of crematoriums. But they are responsible for about 75% of the emissions into our air that we breathe. And it's not good emissions. They're responsible for as much as 12% of all the dioxins in the atmosphere. So the environmental choices of cremation may not be as, obviously are not as harsh on the earth, but they certainly are more harsh in the air that we breathe. So I truly believe, especially those of us that are listening to this conversation today, but I truly believe a lot of us would like to leave a smaller impact on the earth and not be wasting all of these boards and this steel and concrete and energy that it takes to do a burial, and want to keep our air cleaner, not only for ourselves, but for generations to come. And I think that what happens is that families do what families have done. So if you have a death and there hasn't been pre-planning, families are going to do what they always did. So if the last generation did a burial in a cemetery, that's likely what's going to happen to you, as a burial in a cemetery. If your family does cremation, that's likely what's going to happen. So to break this cycle, we need to have these conversations and be educated on just how environmentally harmful or helpful our death, end of life choices are for disposition of our body. So my goal here this afternoon is to give you a little bit more information on some other choices other than the standard basic cemetery burial or cremation, and give you a little bit of information about the environmental impact on them so that you can do your own homework and you can make your own choices about this. So the first one that I want to talk to you about today is aquamation. I think it was in 2018, I did a presentation for Earth Day for Circle Sanctuary, and I talked about aquamation, and I said, I think this is going to be up and coming. Keep your eyes open, people. And it is. It has really grown since I first mentioned it to people back in 2018. Aquamation, or you might hear it called alkaline hydrolysis or water cremation, is really something to watch for and up and coming. And what it is just a process of your body being cremated. You're put in, like in the bottom right down here, you're put in some sort of a tube, and water is put in there, and the water is warmed, and the alkaline is put in, and then your body is just gently shaken until your body basically dissolves. And at the end, you have a little bit of liquid left, and then you have your bones left. And I'm going to go to the next slide, and it's kind of a trigger warning for you that I am going to be showing some bones. So if you don't want to watch this next slide, please don't. So up in the upper left-hand corner, these are the bones that are left after an aquamation or liquid cremation. It's much like the bones that are left after a standard burning fire cremation. These bones are then just taken and crushed, and that's what's given back to the family. On the bottom left, you'll see, it's a little hard to see, there's just some samples. You get far more cremains than this. But on the left, you can see where one from a fire cremation, and the one on the right is one from a water cremation. And the one on the right is more soft and more fine. I almost think of it like beach sand. So that's just a photo for you so you know what you can get back. And I've made a chart there for you that you can look at on cremation, aquamation, and burial, and the difference, environmental issues with each of them. But the thing with aquamation is there's no direct emissions of harmful greenhouse gases or mercury up into the atmosphere like there is with a fire cremation. It actually creates zero pollution. It's very energy efficient and has a big 90% energy savings compared to the fire cremations. So it has a way smaller carbon footprint also. So I think this is going to become really, really more popular. And I can show you here that it is starting to get more popular. This is a map of where it's legal in the United States to have aquamation or liquid cremation. There's 17 states right now that it's legal in, and they are performing these. You can see on the map where there's many states that are either discussing it or they've already started legislation to make this legal in their state. It's been around for a long time. You know, it's been around since 1995. It just hadn't been legal to do it for the general public. So I really think this is going to be up and coming, and we'll see a lot more of it. You know, it's not legal in Wisconsin where I'm coming to you from yet. You know, we have it close by, Illinois, Minnesota. So I think Wisconsin would probably join on the bandwagon pretty soon. The average cost of this right now is about $2,500. And I think I forgot to tell you about the cost of cremation. So let me just back up a little bit. I'm sorry, and tell you about the cost of cremation. There are standalone crematoriums, or there are crematoriums that are associated with funeral homes. And then there are just companies that do direct cremation that contract with funeral homes to do their cremations. And the ones where obviously you're not involving a funeral home and having a visitation and a wake, obviously, are the cheaper choices. You can do a just basic turning your loved one over to this company, getting the ashes back in the mail for about $1,000. If you were to go through a funeral home or one of these other places I was talking about, you would be in probably the $3,000 to $5,000 range. So aquamation, $2,500 right now. It's kind of in the same ballpark as a fire cremation. The next thing that I really am excited about, you know, like I told you in 2018, this is what I was excited about, and this has grown. But now what I'm really excited about is this next one, which is human composting or recomposition. Human composting is just like what it sounds like. You have an unembalmed body. It's wrapped in a shroud. It's placed in some sort of a container with wood chips and alfalfa and other organic matter to heat things up and let everything start to work to decompose the body. And afterwards, then you get the soil back. So it's a real economic way. It's not very high pollution. Right now, it's only legal in the state of Washington. And I'm going to show you here. This is from the state of Washington. Washington has 3 facilities right now that are offering body composting. The picture on the right is a picture of the soil left after the decomposition of a cow. And then on the left-hand side, this is an artist drawing of the vision of their facilities to do this. You see these little honeycombed structures in the back here. Those are actually called cradles. And those are the things that the body is put in, and then the alfalfa, and it's heated up. And then in about 30 days, you have about 1 cubic yard of soil for you to use in your flower bed or plant a tree or whatever it is that you would want to do with the soil from your loved one. I think this is going to be something to watch for. right now in the state of Washington, it costs about $2,500 to have this done. So again, it's right in the ballpark with fire and water cremation. The next one I want to talk about might be thinking a little farther out the box than most people would like to think. And I do want to give another trigger warning for this next slide because it is going to show a couple pictures of dead bodies. And that is donating your body to a body farm. So what's a body farm? I don't even know if people have heard of these, but this is basically, there's 6 places in the United States, and I have their locations there on the right-hand side. Right now, the closest one to us in Wisconsin is Illinois, but there has been for several years conversation about having one over, I believe it's in the Appleton area in Wisconsin. But a body farm is just that. It's a plot of land where bodies are just brought and laid out on the earth so that scientists can study how bodies decompose. And it's very, very important science for us to have, especially when we are doing, forensic investigations and things like that. So body farms are a choice, and your body literally, if you look in the picture there, is just literally laid on the ground, and you are just returning to the earth as naturally as can be. Obviously, this won't be for everybody, but it is a very green, obviously, option to do. The downside of it is that you can see I put there, I couldn't find it for all the facilities, but I found for Tennessee, is that because of the size of their land, they can only handle about 100 bodies a year. And they have a waiting list of pre-donors for 5,000 people. So if this is something that interests you, you would definitely want to be checking in on it right away and getting it down in a plan for you for end of life. The thing with a body farm is that you don't get anything back. If you donate your body to science, when they're done with your body, then your body is cremated and you get the ashes. The body is cremated and you get the ashes back. There's nothing that will come back to you from a body farm. So that's something to think about if you are interested in that at all. All right, so then the next thing I want to talk to you about is green cemeteries and natural burial. You'll notice that as I talked about this today and talked about standard basic practices, the burial in a cemetery and cremation, I don't say traditional. They're not the traditional ways of burying bodies in a cemetery. The traditional way is by families taking care of that body in their homes and families burying that body unembalmed and returning that body to the earth. That is the traditional burial, and that is what a natural burial is. You are returning an unembalmed body in its natural state, wrapped in or placed in natural biodegradable materials, and the body is lowered down into the earth and covered. And a lot of times green cemeteries don't let you even have a headstone or anything. You use GPS quadrants to find the spot. I mean, if you look at the picture on the left, that actually is a green cemetery and you'd never know it. It's beautiful, and a lot of people would like to have that return. So I want to talk a little bit about natural burial because it really does have the least impact on the environment. This photo here is a photo of a home funeral and green burial family that I assisted with in 2015 and in 2016. His name is Spencer, and he has known pretty much his whole adult life that he wanted a natural burial, and he wanted to return to the earth without a casket, without a vault, without chemicals. And so I got involved with their family and we did some education, and then the family just ran with planning this most beautiful home funeral. Spencer died at home. The funeral was held at home. The visitation was held at home. His wife drove his body to the cemetery at Circle Sanctuary. And this is a picture of his pallbearers lowering his body into the earth. And when I spoke to his wife about getting permission to use this slide, she was really, really happy that we were using, that I had asked to use this, because Spencer always wanted to be returned to the earth naturally. And he died on Earth Day. And now on Earth Day, I'm using his slide in a presentation. And so I think it's just fitting that I'm using this for today. So Spencer is just buried, and he was just wrapped in a bed sheet, just a simple cotton bed sheet. It had some ribbon tied around him with some lavender in the ribbon. And that was all it takes. That's the key for a green burial, is everything has to be biodegradable. So you be careful about what clothing they're dressed in, and jewelry, and things like that, so that everything can be biodegradable. I don't think I want to say anything more at this point about Spencer's beautiful ceremony, but this really truly is one of the greener ways that you can be returned. Some people choose to use different types of containers, and I'm going to talk about those in just a little bit. But the big thing is there's no embalming. So all that formaldehyde we talked about isn't going into the ground whatsoever. What people ask me about all the time is the environmental concerns around the soil and water contamination. The first thing that I say to people is that if that was a problem, neither you or I would be around, because this is how our ancestors buried people for decades and decades and decades. Hundreds of years, people were just returned naturally to the ground. The key is the soil. So cemeteries have chosen a place that has optimum soil conditions, because the soil acts as a filter for any of the fluids as the body decomposes. So again, trying to put things into perspective for you, a body will decompose over a period of about 4 to 6 weeks, and they release about 12 gallons of moisture. The average family of 4 flushes 250 gallons of water with infectious waste, possibly containing chemo or birth control or other drugs, every single day. A single family does that. So the amount of fluid is minimal. And the other key thing is that green burials are buried 3 to 4 feet deep. Now, if you are, you always hear 6 feet under, well, that's for the casket and the vault. For green burial, where the soil is the best, for all the bacteria and everything and the bugs and everything to work for the decomposition of that body, is about 3 to 4 feet down. The water table is about 75 feet down. So there is really minimal risk of any soil or water contamination with a green burial. Okay. So maybe green burial isn't the thing for you, because one of the difficulties, the challenges of green burials is finding a green cemetery. And I hate to say that, but it really is true. A lot of people would like to be buried near their hometown, near their loved ones. Their families want to keep them close. But unfortunately, they aren't as many green cemeteries as we'd like to see. In the state of Wisconsin, there's like 3 or 4. Some states don't have any. You need to check. You can check with the Green Burial Council to find out what's in your state. You can check with the National Home Funeral Association to find out what's in your state, what's available. But that's kind of the challenge, is finding that cemetery. What we have had some luck with, and what we are seeing, because cemeteries and funeral homes are realizing people really are wanting to start greening the end of life more. So they are, changing some of their ways. You will find some cemeteries that do have a section now where they're letting green burials happen. They may not advertise as a green cemetery, but they're letting some green burials happen. I've also had several cemeteries that during our pre-planning, we talked with them and they've let you turn the vault upside down, put the body right on the earth, put the vault in upside down so it has no lid, but then they can still groom over top of the vault. We're seeing some of that option. So there are many options available. Sometimes, like I said in this slide, you've got to find your shade of green. You may not be able to go totally green, but you may be able to get a shade of green. And there's other ways to do it besides just the cemetery. I guess one thing I do want to mention here, because people always do ask me, well, can I be buried on my own property? And I'll just touch just a little bit on that because it varies wherever you're at. It's legal in every state, but most counties have zoning that may or may not prohibit it. So you have to not only check with your state laws, you have to check with your county zoning laws and see what you can do. If you can do it, then normally guidelines are something similar to 150 feet from a waterway, 150 feet from a power line, 150 feet from a property line, and you need to put this on your deed. And you can't just let anyone come and get buried there because then you'd be a cemetery. So it's just for family only. And like I said, then it has to go on your deed that these bodies bodies are buried there. But check into your local zoning because it's kind of a tough thing to do, I'll forewarn you. So anyway, back to how can you be a little bit green? And I've listed a few ways up here. There are some funeral homes that are now advertised as green friendly funeral home or certified green. Look for those funeral homes. And you'll want to do this in your pre-planning because families will go to the same funeral home that they've always gone to because they don't know any different. So do your homework on that. Bury your body in a green casket or a shroud. If you've been into a funeral home lately, the casket room, you'll see that a lot of them really are having some biodegradable choices. They'll have some baskets, some boxes. So you can make choices like that if you need to. And funeral homes will help you with burials in green cemeteries. Again, just find the right funeral home. And sometimes it's educating that funeral home because this is a new thing. It's not that they don't want to help, it's just new. We all just need to be educated. And if you can, get buried without that vault, get buried without that casket if you've found the right place, or even considering not having a grave marker. Okay, so I just want to show you a few of these biodegradable containers and choices. Obviously the basket here, I've never seen anyone use one. I've seen them, they're beautiful, but they are quite expensive. A lot of these funeral homes that are green will have these, but they're not any cheaper than purchasing a casket. A biodegradable urn, a pine box. Just have to make sure that, it doesn't have hinges and nails. I find that the Amish and the monks, if you have that anywhere near you, that they're very good about building boxes that are biodegradable without any of the hardware. Wooden urns. Most often what we see is just this cardboard cremation box. This is a box that a body is usually put into during a burning cremation, but they're also used a lot for transporting. Funeral homes put them in a lot to transport a body for green burial. A lot of times when we have a green burial, there'll be a shrouded body inside that box. We vary the box and everything. But again, for a green burial, you don't even need that box. You can have the shrouding, it's just fine. I didn't show a picture of a shroud, and I'm sorry, I apologize for that. A shroud is basically a cotton wrap, and it has straps attached to it. Like you saw when we were lowering Spencer into the grave, we had those yellow straps that we take back out. With a shroud, those straps are attached right to it. So you just lower and put the straps right into the grave. Those are very handy. You can find those for a few $100s. So these are different ways that you could still help green the end of life. And then there's a few things I just want to talk about that people like and get excited about. And I just myself, again, this is my personal opinion on these ones. Are these really environmentally safe options? Do they work, and are they feasible? And the reason, and I'll talk about each one of these. The one that I hear a lot of people getting excited about is on the left there, which is the mushroom suit, or the infinity burial suit, you might hear it called. These have been around for a few years. They aren't getting real productive yet, I guess I'd say. There's actually a waiting list to get them. They cost about $1,500 to get one of these suits. Now, I haven't had the experience of working with any of the families that have used these, but from other groups that I'm in, what I'm hearing is that people who have chosen this suit are having a hard time finding a place to get buried. Because again, if you go back to the standard basic burial in a cemetery, they want you in a casket, they want you in a vault. Well, that defeats the purpose of this mushroom suit for people who have chosen that. So they are not being able to get buried in regular cemeteries. So then they're finding green cemeteries. Some green cemeteries are accepting, some are not accepting, the way I understand, because they don't feel that you need to have that, because these mushroom suits also get buried about 4 feet deep. And again, that's the prime place, prime depth for the bacteria and everything to start the decay of the body without this suit. So you might have a hard time if you choose to use this suit where you can get buried in. I know that a couple of the stars that have used it were buried on private property, and I don't know where the rest of the people have, in spite of trying to figure that out for you for this presentation today. So just think about that. I think they're a fun thing. I think that's interesting. I don't think it's a needed thing, but I could see people really being enthused about that because it is environmentally friendly. The next thing is the pods and the biodegradable urns. Now, the thing I have to say about the pods, because again, you see them advertised all the time. I've seen a lot of people be really excited about, this is what I want. This is, do this. I want to be a tree. Well, I have a real problem with these pods, especially. Having worked with hundreds and hundreds of dead bodies, I don't know how you're going to get a dead body into this fetal position into one of these pods. And I don't know, and I'm not a funeral home director, but I don't know if a funeral home director is going to do that for you. Again, that would be part of your pre-planning if they are going to be willing to do something like that for you. And if they're not, who is? I think that's going to be the biggest problem of these pods. And then moving over to the biodegradable containers, and I'm not bashing this company's name, and there's many companies that do it. But what the problem with these is that the biodegradable container degrades really rapidly, and the ashes don't. And the ashes usually stay kind of a clump, and they have a lot of sodium and other stuff in them that doesn't dissolve fast enough, and it's not real good in the clump for the environment until it all gets taken away. And then for both of these, a problem that I see is the tree growing. If you've ever tried to plant a tree in your backyard, you know how much watering and tending that takes to get a small tree to grow in your backyard. These, are meant to just get buried and people just walk away and forget them and expect to come back and see this big, beautiful tree. Well, that doesn't always happen. It has to be tended. And I would just feel so terribly if I had recommended these to people and they expect to come back and see grandma has grown an apple tree and there's nothing there. It's almost like reliving the grief of the death to me. So I just want to put that out there, that while these are very environmentally friendly, Are they feasible? You know, is that tree really going to be there, or are you going to be causing more grief for the family? So I just bring that up for that reason. So how green is your end of life option? What do you want? Have you thought about it? Did I raise some questions or issues today? You know, I invite you to really think about what you want for your end of life option, and if it is some of these more green options, then you should start planning. Because like I said, your family will do what they've always done. It may not be what you want. So start that planning now. Start doing your own homework. Start educating yourself on what you want and if it's feasible in your area. Can you do it? What's it going to take? Then get that all down in writing and have people that can carry that out for you. It's really important for you if you have that green end of life option. So again, pre-planning is crucial, especially when you are wanting a green burial. Not that we can't do them at last minute, because we have and we will. But the thing is that cooling the body becomes important. You know, we're not doing that embalming right away. So we need to be doing some cooling. And again, like I said, a lot of the funeral homes aren't educated on this yet. And so they'll call us or call a midwife or call Circle, call whoever to kind of help guide them and direct them along this way so we can make this happen. So if this is something you want, the pre-planning really, in my opinion, is crucial so that you know what it takes to cool that body. A lot of families who choose the green burial option also choose a home funeral option, you know, where the family lies, they wash the body and sing to the body after they die, and then they lay their loved one out in honor in the house, and family and close friends come and say their goodbyes in a really personal, slow-paced setting. And that's the great thing about a green burial, is that it is at your pace. You don't have to be at the casket room at 1 o'clock and the family viewing at 6 o'clock and the wake at 7 o'clock. And you do it on your own pace whenever it feels right with you. You are your funeral director when you're doing this at home and when you're doing green burials. So the thing I would just stress upon you is, if you choose this, to make sure that you know and make sure you have someone that can carry out the cooling of this body. And if you have any questions, look to the National Home Funeral Association, and they have a lot of great information, and there's a lot of great videos there. Here's my contact information, Sharon at circlesanctuary.org. If you have any questions you'd like to ask me, please feel free to email me. I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. Like I said, my passion is helping families at end of life. I think this is a beautiful opportunity for us to come together as a community and support each other in all these eco-friendly ways of end of life choices. I know we all want to be buried in an earth-friendly way, and I hope I was able to give you some tips and maybe some new information for you as you make your decision on what you want to do for greening your end of life. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you've got a lot out of this. I appreciate you listening. Doing this kind of workshop's a little bit tough, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Thanks so much. Have a great day and happy Earth Day.
We start our tour at Circle's Fairy Shrine. This is a shrine that's existed for a number of years, though in multiple locations, and it's to the spirit of the Fae. We have a number of devotees of that, and this is one of the more heavily decorated sites and also one of the easier ones to get to. And now we're heading up the Shrine Walk Trail. This trail, which was established several decades ago up through the woods, goes through a broad diversity of brush and trees, and eventually gets up towards some of these lovely rock faces. You can see that we've done some erosion work there. And now we're approaching the Goddess Shrine. The Goddess Shrine is one of the longest standing features here as far as shrines go on the land, and it's nestled in one of our rock faces. You'll see shortly that these rock faces go quite some distance. They're made of primarily sandstone, but there's also a fair amount of limestone, copper, iron, manganese, and other metals in it. This is the, former forest floor, former ocean floor that used to be covering this part of the world. We're heading further on up the hill now, going to the top of Ritual Mound. To the left is the Stone Circle. To the right is the Cremain section of Circle Cemetery. And we're going to head now up toward the Stone Circle. This is one of the ritual spaces that's seen the most use over the years. It's a microlithic stone circle. Every stone that you see in this circle has been placed with intent by someone over all of the years that Circle Sanctuary has owned this land, which is 36 or 37 by now. And as you see, it's a wide array of stones and statuary that, that was the South Shrine, and we're now looking toward the West Shrine shortly. You'll see we have these stones of many sorts, as I say, placed here with intent, and beyond it is the prairie that we have restored over the years. So we're heading now out of the Stone Circle and toward the cemetery. This cemetery, this portion of it was set up very early in Circle's history to host the cremains of people who had been associated with Circle in one way or another and who have now passed. It's a very restful place. Once again, all oak forest. Here we are approaching Veterans Ridge. These all contain headstones that have been provided by the Department of Defense through the standard project that they have to offer grave markers to veterans. Circle, of course, was instrumental in getting the Pentacle and Awen approved as symbols of belief. And here we're moving on toward the non-veteran part of the cemetery. These are all grave markers of people who've been associated with Circle in one way or another. Some of them long-term Circle members, some of them famous folks in the world of paganism, and some of them, just very old friends. And from here, we're going to move on toward the Gnome Shrine, which is just beneath the Circle Cemetery. Gnomes are spirits of the earth, and we honor that spirit as well. Although, some folks may find gnomes kitschy, we do have a number of folks who are rather devoted to gnomes as a spiritual entity. We have more of those rock faces. Behind the rock face to the left was the animal shrine. And here we're taking a look at another one of these rock faces, up and down. These rock faces themselves are shrines to nature folk such as us. We have had many of us, myself included, meditate and work with these spaces as spiritual spaces for a very long time, and that's one of the things that brings me to Circle. And here we're approaching the god shrine. As there is a goddess shrine, there is also a god shrine. This one too nestled in a rock outcropping, and it's a representation of divinity as people understand it, and in the forms that people choose to work with it. Here we are now approaching Bonfire Circle. This is a central location that we have a fair number of ritual work at, as well as enjoying evenings during festivals. And here we have the maypole. The maypole is a central feature of our Beltane celebrations, which happen near the 1st of May every year. Around it is a ring of mugwort that's also a blessed herb. We're now passing down Meadowvale and approaching the ritual circle bonfire. This is a much larger ritual area that can accommodate really as many people as you care to stuff in it. We've had a couple hundred before. This is, more readily accessible to folks with all sorts of, who have various mobility challenges. And it's also just large enough for us to have large-scale ritual events. And now we're passing out Meadowvale and coming up on the Spiral Labyrinth. This has been a feature of Circle for 12 or 13 years now. It is maintained pretty consistently throughout. This is a meditative space that you spiral in and spiral back out of, and it is often lit at our events by candlelight with the fire in the center, and it's very beautiful. And here we're looking out toward that restored prairie, and then on the right we have the ritual mound that we went up earlier in this video. Turning around, we see the barn and the farmhouse, so we're sort of returning back toward the center of Circle property. This is the fire circle, which is where we hold usually on Labor Day, sometimes other times, intensives that start around midnight and go through until daybreak, usually for 3 nights in a row. Very powerful working happens there. It's a really, really amazing transformative space. And now we're leaving the fire circle area, and we see to the left and right of us, that's normally goldenrod, and then we're flying over some willow here to get to the tamarack grove, which is adjacent to the stream that we've named the Stream of Consciousness. And then coming up on the upper left is Brigid Spring, which is a naturally fed spring that runs year-round. I have never, in the years I've come to Circle, seen it freeze entirely, even in the coldest time of the year. You'll see kind of fluttering fabric there. Those are healing ribbons that have been placed on healing hoops and placed here for guidance and for renewal of the goddess Brigid.
Earth Day greetings, Earth Day blessings from the Circle Sanctuary community. We are coming to you live from across the USA. My husband, Dr. Dennis, and I are here in southwestern Wisconsin in the Driftless bioregion, and our home is adjoining Circle Sanctuary Nature Preserve, which is headquarters for Circle Sanctuary that is sponsoring this Earth Day celebration. I welcome everyone to Circle Sanctuary's very first live streamed community Earth Day celebration and ritual. We were online last year as well, but this year our ritual has several of us rather than just me, and I'm so thankful that we have gathered. On the West Coast, we have Circle Sanctuary's eco chaplains, Shar and Andrew Bear, and they're in California. And we have also out in the West and New Mexico, we have longtime Circle Sanctuary community member, Circle Sanctuary attorney, and coordinator of many of our multicultural interfaces when it comes to Native American ways and working for equal rights. He's assisted us with the Lady Liberty League. So Chip Brown is here and we'll be doing a blessing from his home in New Mexico. And in the Midwest, we have Reverend Laura Gonzalez, who's in Chicago, and will be doing a blessing in 2 languages. and moving on to the East Coast area, we have Maven Stone in Ohio, who will be sharing some more of her wonderful harp music and songs as part of our Earth Day celebration. A special thanks to Casey Pope and Bob Paxton, our 2 ministers that are doing tech. Casey is in Colorado and Bob is in Madison, Wisconsin. So thank you all for gathering with us. We invite you to join us in whatever way feels appropriate for you, all of you watching live and those watching later. This is a multicultural as well as interreligious Earth Day ritual. So we are drawing from a variety of traditions, old and contemporary, as our way of honoring Earth Day and connecting with the planet and with nature in sacred ways. So, in the next few moments, let us each, wherever we may be, connect with Source, with sacred, with Goddess, God, divinities, nature spirits, ancestors, other sacred form or forms according to our own tradition. Taking some deep breaths, centering ourselves, and silently calling on the divine, each in our own way, from where we are. Divine is one, divine is many. We call to you, we honor you. Be with us, be in us, guide us, and bless our right. So be it. And we now connect with the sacred circle.
Thank you for that attunement, dear Selena. And thank you, Dr. Dennis, earlier today speaking about our need to connect human nature with non-human nature. The circle we're about to cast is meant to help us to do that, respecting all the life support systems without and within. As always, I invite you to regard where is east, south, west, north in your own place where you are. And if you wish, you may join me in facing those directions as we cast this sacred earth circle. As with you, so with us, as with me, so with you. Facing east, I welcome and honor the element of air. You, air, are the lungs and the respiratory system of the planet, as you are the lungs and the respiratory system within us. You are the atmosphere, outer space, the weather, the breath of life in all living ones. And as your lungs move through the trees, through the sea kelp forests, across grass plains, clouds, and over the waters, our lungs move in tune with you, taking in breath from you, releasing breath back to you. We feel you, air. We see you, we love you, and we connect with you now. Welcome. As with you, so with us, as with me, so with you. Facing south, I welcome and honor the element of fire. Fire, you are the gastric and endocrine systems of the planet, just as you are within us. You are birth, you birth life throughout every ecosystem and from all living beings. You are digest all, and from the bowels of the earth, you grow new landscapes coming up through magma. You regulate our body temperature and our planet's temperature to sustain this amazing biodiversity. Our fuel comes from your fuel, absorbing the energy you provide and giving energy in return. We feel you, fire. We see you, we love you, and we connect with you now. Welcome. As with you, so with us, as with me, so with you. Facing west, I welcome and honor the element of water. Water, you are the circulatory and reproductive systems of the planet. You birth life through every ecosystem and from all living beings and organisms. You circulate life blood in all of its colors and shades, the reds, the blues, the yellows, moving nutrients throughout the world. Our own bodies are nearly 90% water, just as our oceanic planet is nearly 90% water. We feel you, water. We see you, we love you, and we connect with you now. Welcome. As with you, so with us, as with me, so with you. Facing north, I welcome and honor the element of earth. Earth, you are the flesh and the bones of the planet, the skeleton of the lands of Terra. Your loam is the skin and flesh of the world, containing the bones of our ancestors in the geological record. You are flora and fauna, layers of plant and animal and human animal, all interconnected. Our life cycle is measured by your seasonal cycles of birth, maturity, aging, death, and rebirth. We feel you, Earth. We see you, we love you, and we connect with you now. Welcome. As with you, so with us. As with me, so with you. Facing center, I welcome and honor the element of spirit throughout all the directions. Spirit, you are the central nervous system of the worlds and all realms, just like our central nervous system. You are the many kinds of intelligences that transcend the logical and rational, so culturally bound. You are the liminal space, the space in between, in all creatures, in all elements and entities, in the worlds and in the cosmos. Your transformation is our transformation, always interdependent, always developing. We feel you, Spirit. We see you. We love you. We connect with you now. Welcome. As above, so below, as without, so within. The sacred earth circle is now cast. Blessed be, so mote it be.
Blessed be. And now we journey to envisioning a circle around us in this sacred circle of nature that Shar has cast. I invite you to join me in this chant wherever you may be. Whisper it or reflect it, sing it or shout it. Circle of light, circle of sound, circle of Earth Day, circle around, circle of light, circle of sound, circle of Earth Day, circle around, circle of light, circle of sound, circle of Earth Day, circle around. And in our circle, we experience our connection with all of the others who are celebrating Earth Day today, this past Earth Week, on Earth Day itself, this past Thursday, all who have been celebrating or will be celebrating for this is a time release Earth Day with a variety of Earth Day celebrations happening around the planet. And we call into our circle those who have been part of Earth Days past. And we call into our circle those who will be organizing and taking part in Earth Days in the future. We are in an Earth Day circle. Welcome. Blessed be. And now we journey to New Mexico for a blessing, a Lenape blessing.
Greetings, everyone, from Pruitt, New Mexico. We are here on the traditional lands of the ancient Puebloan peoples, referred to as the Anasazi, the current Navajo, Dene peoples, other Puebloan peoples, Apache peoples, and many others here. We are actually located within the Baca chapter of the Navajo Nation, and I am honored to offer a blessing to you on this Earth Day. And I will speak in English first, and then in the Lenape language of my Delaware ancestors. And so on this Earth Day, we celebrate Mother Earth, Father Sky, particularly the earth at this time. We offer blessings and hope and love and strength, and thank Mother Earth for her energy, for her spirit, for her blessings, for keeping us alive on this planet. And we look forward to that relationship with Mother Earth, continuing to connect and be tied to Mother Earth and with Mother Earth. And so I say, Shiki Hech, Nuhamushak, Hesena Haki, Wanishi Ke Hesena Haki, Wanishi Ke Hesena Haki Walking. Walking Wemi Alenko Maki, Matama, Wishate, Naktun, Ke Hesena Haki Walking, Walking Wemi Alak Maki, Ke Hesena Haki, Wanishi Walking on Kanta Walking Kishilemu Kompink, Kishilem Yank, Wanishi. Dule Linameli Pike, Ke Hesena Haki, we need to walk, Nokna, Skeet, Melban, Wanishi Wemi. Ke Hesena Haki, Kita Huludu Mo, Mapatama, Wishate, Ke Hesena Haki Walking. Wanishi. And so thank you. We celebrate on this day, and we look forward to the future from this day, and we work hard to ensure the continuance, the succor of Mother Earth. And we love you, Mother Earth, and love you all. Thank you for the opportunity to offer this blessing.
Thank you, Chip. And now we journey to Chicago with one of our newest Circle Sanctuary ministers, who's also part of Circle Sanctuary's podcasting team. Indeed, she's the one that does not one, but two multilingual, international podcasts. And welcome, Reverend Laura Gonzalez.
Thank you, Selena, for that lovely presentation, and thank you everybody for being here today. Today I'm going to share a call and blessing for Coatlicue, or Mother Earth, or Great Mother. And first of all, to acknowledge the land in which we stand. I am standing and coming to you from the land of the Potawatomi, the Menominee, and the Miami, and I originally come from the land of the Mexica Tenochca, currently known as Mexico City. Coatlicue is the serpent skirt woman, and it is believed to be the natural force that cover the earth, the electromagnetic field that protects us from the sun, and is also the earth itself, and is also the vibrating, beautiful life of the earth itself. And that's why her skirt is made of snakes, because all the vibration lies underneath her skirt, and that is our life on earth. And as we salute her today, I will say it in English first, and then I will say it in Spanish, so I can offer her copal on the language that the spirit, I guess, understands more closely, Spanish. We salute our loving mother, or Mother Earth, or Tonantzin. You, the one with this serpent skirt, or Tonantzin, or loving mother. We salute you and we thank you for nurturing us. Saludamos a nuestra amada Madre Tierra, Nuestra Señora, la de la falda de serpientes, Madre de nuestro sustento, nuestra madrecita Tonantzin. Te ofrendamos este copal. Tlazohcamati. Blessed be.
Thank you, Reverend Laura. And I share with you something old that's also something new. It is a nearly 2,000-year-old hymn to Gaia. The words are adapted from a 1792 English translation of the Orphic Hymn to Gaia by Thomas Taylor. I got it from the 1999 edition of the University of Pennsylvania Press. And the intonation is my own. I tweaked the English translation just a bit and debuted it at the Global Climate Strike back in 2019 that started an interreligious service at the Methodist Church right off of Capitol Square in downtown Madison, Wisconsin. And I bring it to you today. Gaia is from the ancient Greek pagan mystery religion. She predates the Olympian deities that most people know about with the Greek religion. She is the goddess of the earth from old Greece and Europe. And many people today are now bringing forth Gaia as part of their own spiritual practices. In 1979, a physicist, James Lovelock, had the Gaia hypothesis, drawing from her name. O goddess, earth of gods and humans, the source, empowered with life-giving as well as destructive force. Great Mother Earth, whose prolific powers produce abundance of beauteous fruits and flowers, all various made the eternal world's strong base, immortal, blessed, and crowned with every grace, from whose wide womb, as from an endless root, fruits many formed, mature and grateful shoot. Deep bosom blessed, pleased with grassy plains, sweet to the smell, and with nurturing rains, all flowery spirit, center of the world, around your orb the beauteous stars are hurled, with rapid whirl, eternal and divine, whose frames with matchless skill and wisdom shine. Come, blessed goddess, listen to this prayer and make our planet's well-being your constant care. With fertile seasons in your train, draw near, and with propitious mind, our prayer please hear. We call to you, Gaia. We honor you, Gaia. We work with you, Gaia. Be with us, be in us, guide us as we work together for a healing, healthy, more sustainable planet Earth. So be it. And now I invite our other eco chaplain from California, Andrew Bear, to bring us forth a prayer, a letter from the eco-Buddhist tradition. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you, Selena. And that was really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that hymn to Gaia. So greeting, friends. I come to you from the Santa Cruz Mountains in the coastal redwood forests of California, land of the Awaswas Ohlone people. On this Earth Day, I will share with you a love letter to the earth written by Thich Nhat Hanh. And writing love letters to the earth is a wonderful spiritual practice. And we might also want to write our own love letter to the earth. But this one is from Thich Nhat Hanh. Dear Mother Earth, I bow my head before you as I look deeply and recognize that you are present in me and that I'm a part of you. I was born from you, and you are always present, offering me everything I need for my nourishment and growth. My mother, my father, and all my ancestors are also your children. We breathe your fresh air. We drink your clear water. We eat your nourishing food. Your herbs heal us when we are sick. You are the mother of all beings. I call you by the human name Mother, and yet I know your mothering nature is more vast and ancient than humankind. We are just one young species of your many children. All the millions of other species who live or have lived on Earth are also your children. You aren't a person, but I know you are not less than a person either. You're a living, breathing being in the form of a planet. Each species has its own language, yet as our mother, you can understand us all. That is why you can hear me today as I open my heart to you and offer you my prayer. Dear Mother, wherever there is soil, water, rock, or air, you are there, nourishing me and giving me life. You are present in every cell of my body. My physical body is your physical body. And just as the sun and stars are present in you, they are also present in me. You are not outside of me, and I am not outside of you. You are more than just my environment. You are nothing less than myself. I promise to keep the awareness alive that you are always in me, and I am always in you. I promise to be aware that your health and well-being is my own health and well-being. I know I need to keep this awareness alive in me for us both to be peaceful, happy, healthy, and strong. Sometimes I forget. Lost in the confusions and worries of daily life, I forget that my body is your body, and sometimes even forget that I have a body at all. Unaware of the presence of my body and the beautiful planet around me and within me, I'm unable to cherish and celebrate the precious gift of life you have given me. Dear Mother, my deep wish is to wake up to the miracle of life. I promise to train myself to be present for myself, my life, and for you in every moment. I know that my true presence is the best gift I can offer you, the one I love. For us to survive, both as individuals and as a species, we need a revolution in consciousness. it can start with our collective awakening. Looking deeply with mindfulness and concentration, we can see that we are the earth, and with this insight, love and understanding will be born. So we send our love to Mother Earth.
Thank you, Andrew. And now we have an opportunity to have some more wonderful music from Maven Stone, who comes to us from Ohio.
Thanks, Selena. I'm actually Indiana, but very close to the Ohio.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. But so this song I want to share with you is actually from my album called The Book of Spells, and it is for all of you who work with the earth on a daily basis. And it is for all of you that are planting and nurturing, harvesting, cooking, healing with the earth and the plants, and it's called Lavender Pencil. Lavender soft, rosemary and thyme. Lavender soft, rosemary and thyme. Growing in my garden, sprouting in the spring. The lovebirds begun to whisper me their names. Lavender sound, rosemary and thyme. Lavender sound, rosemary and thyme. Cooking in my kitchen, brewing something your hands, bubbles forming on the surface, steaming off the sky. Lavender sound, rosemary and thyme. Lavender sound, rosemary and hanging in my greenhouse, tender smiling down, kittens playing house for me, Lavender caught me. Lavender sound, rosemary and thyme. Lavender sound, rosemary and thyme. Lavender sound.
Thank you, Maven. And now we journey from Indiana back to Wisconsin. And we are on land next to Circle Sanctuary Nature Preserve and close to Blue Mound. The Blue Mound, much of it is now a state park. It's the next ridge over. It's sacred to the Ho-Chunk people. And in addition to its work as a sacred site amongst the Ho-Chunk, part of the legends are that it's a place that before Europeans ever came to this part of Wisconsin, the tribes of different types and backgrounds would come and gather for celebration and connection. Circle Sanctuary is keeping alive that tradition of converging diversity and peace and harmony. And I invite my husband and life partner, Dennis, to guide us in some more nature meditation.
Thanks to all of you who've preceded me here today in today's ritual for so eloquently describing our relationship with nature and Mother Earth. And in this meditation, we'll focus on that connection with nature and Mother Earth. So I invite you now to close your eyes or to lower your gaze and to bring your attention to the present moment by focusing on your breath. So focus on your own breath, however that's happening for you right now, for a few moments while I remain quiet. Now I invite you to move your focus within your body and specifically focus on those parts of your body that are coming in contact with the supports that you have right now, whether you're seated, lying down, standing. But focus on those parts of your body and their contacts with your supports. Feel your body settling more into these places, to these supports. Let your weight feel as if it's sinking into these supports, holding you, supporting you. Feeling very grounded and centered in this place. Focus on your whole body now in this place. Imagining roots going down from your body into the earth, connecting you deeply with the earth beneath you. Feeling very grounded and centered and supported by the earth, Mother Earth. Now let your focus move outward to the immediate area around you, your local environment, the local piece of the earth that you inhabit. Perhaps visualizing that space. More importantly, feeling the energy of place around you. Now let your attention focus more broadly to the whole earth, to the planet as a whole, to Gaia, to Mother Earth, the web of life of which we're all a part. Breathe into this awareness and connection with the energy of the earth herself. We humans are a fundamental part of this web of life on this planet. And our relationship with the rest of the natural world and with the planet are especially critical right now as we face some real problems ecologically, specifically related to climate change. So allow the earth to speak to you, providing guidance to you on something specific you can do in the near term, within days or weeks. Near term, what can you do to improve your relationship with Mother Earth? What can you do to help mitigate climate change? Listen now for that message. Resolve to act upon this message. Experience this deep and profound sense of connection that you have to Mother Earth and the web of life upon her. Be inspired to protect this precious web of life on planet Earth. Bringing your attention and focus back within your body, feeling this sense of relaxation and connectedness. Bringing your focus back to breath as you're breathing in and out. knowing that you take with you everywhere these powerful tools of connecting with present moment through focus on breath, the body, and the beauty and richness of nature around us. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Thank you, Dennis. And I invite you all to connect with the elements of nature in a way that we carry forth that message of eco-action, calling to mind the earth, the soil, the rocks, the air, the atmosphere, our breath, the fire, the flames of the sun and other sources of energy, that of water, fresh water, salt water, precipitation, the water within our own bodies and in the planet, and the spirit that connects us with these elements, and the divine is one and many. We call to these sacred elements to be in our awareness on this Earth Day and every day. Earth Day, every day. Earth Day, every day. And we call to mind the importance of having clean earth, clean air, clean water, clean energy, clean earth, clean air, clean water, clean energy, clean earth, clean air, clean water, clean energy. May the elements individually and collectively guide us in our work for a healthier and sustainable planet Earth. And I share with you now my Earth Day prayer for planetary healing, which I created for the 20th anniversary of Earth Day back in 1990 and have revised it a bit in the years since. I invite you to connect with each of these sacred elements as we do this prayer, attuned to these words. May we stop soil contamination and deforestation. May we bring forth cleaner soil and reforestation. Power of the sacred earth, guide us in this work to bring healing to planet Earth. May we stop air poisoning and ozone layer depletion. May we bring forth cleaner air and atmosphere restoration. Power of the sacred air, guide us in this work to bring healing to planet Earth. May we stop energy wastefulness and pollution. May we bring forth cleaner energy and energy conservation. Power of the sacred fire, guide us in this work to bring healing to planet Earth. May we stop water pollution and ocean destruction. May we bring forth cleaner water and ocean preservation. Power of the sacred water, guide us in this work to bring healing to planet Earth. May we put an end to social and spiritual toxicity. May we bring forth peace and spiritual harmony. Power of a sacred spirit, guide us in this work to bring healing to planet Earth. May we live in harmony with other humans. May we live in harmony with all of nature on this planet and beyond. May we work together to end planetary sickness. May we work together to bring forth planetary wellness. Power of Mother Nature, guide us in this work to bring healing to planet Earth. So be it. And now we journey back to Indiana, that some I know who are connected with the moon as Diana call in Diana. And Maven will bring us some more music. Thank you, Maven. And I give thanks to all of you who have joined today in this Earth Day ritual. We give thanks to the elements, the sacred earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, the sacred circle we cast around us. We give thanks to planet Earth, sacred Earth, Mother Earth, Goddess Gaia, by all the different names that we have called our planet in divine ways. We give thanks to our home as planet Earth. We give thanks to the cosmos, that greater part of nature of which we are all part. May the powers of environmental awareness, nature communion, and eco-action be in us and with us on Earth Day and every day. So be it. Aho, amen, ashe, namaste, salam, shalom, peace, blessed be. And now for some Earth Day chants as we conclude our rite and our Earth Day celebration. Think globally, act locally. 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 Yes, that was part of the very first Earth Day, and I've been chanting it ever since. Yes, we need to keep ourselves as part of the planet as a whole in mind. But we need to learn, connect, and take action locally and find good ways to make changes in our personal lives as well as in our households, in our neighborhoods, in our communities, in our nations, and on this planet. And I conclude our rite and our celebration with a chant that I created for that very same global climate strike back at the equinox in September 2019. And indeed, I've been in a lot of eco rallies and marches and conferences and ceremonies and teach-ins and trainings. But to be part of that grand outpouring led by youth was so uplifting. And I had this chant come to me, and I've shared it over time since then, and I share it with you. The words are simple. Bring human change to climate change. So that's basically us making change in our lives and making sure we vote if we live in a democracy and keep that voting working and paying attention to what our elected officials are doing, and for people who seek to be elected officials, what they're doing, paying attention to those who are appointed by elected officials and seeing what they're doing. We not only need to be educated and to network, but we need to find good ways to communicate about the need to respond quickly and with wisdom to the climate crisis, to the climate emergency that is going on. And yes, I'm very involved in a variety of social justice movements, including environmental justice. And that's very important. We all must look at this bigger picture as well as we move forward. Bring human change to climate change. Bring human change to climate change. And the second part of the chant, awaken all humankind. Take action while there is time. Okay, what's that about? Not only do we call for humankind to wake up and take action, but we need to be part of the process of awakening humankind and taking action. And yes, there still is time, but you know, back in Earth Day 1970, we were able to bring awareness by connecting together at that very first series of teach-ins that happened all across the US. Earth Day is now global. There are thousands and thousands of Earth Day events and millions of people getting involved, and that is fabulous. However, we have not made a whole lot of progress, especially in the last few years. I'm glad things are starting to change. And so I think it's very important that we continue to focus on this, for Earth Day needs to be every day. So here is a chant to conclude our Earth Day celebration with. Bring human change to climate change. Bring human change to climate change. Awaken all humankind. Take action while there is time. Bring human change to climate change. Bring human change to climate change. Awaken our humankind. Take action while there is time. Bring human change to climate change. Bring human change to climate change. Awaken our humankind. Take action while there is time. Earth Day every day. Earth Day every day. Earth Day every day. Earth Day every day. And as we conclude our ride, I invite Reverend Casey to put us all on gallery view so we all can wave at you. And I give thanks to Reverend Casey, Reverend Bob. I give thanks to Reverend Dr. Dennis. I give thanks to our eco chaplains, Andrew Bear, Reverend Char. I give thanks to Reverend Laura Gonzalez. I give thanks to my spiritual brother, Chip, and our bard, Maven. And thanks to all of you who are watching live and later. And so as we say farewell to you, know that we appreciate you, and let us continue to take the energy of this Earth Day celebration into our lives and into the world. So be it.